Join me as I journey through the Moby Royal Family Slave Trade Museums. This consists of 5 locations on the main island and one final location across the river, known as the Point of No Return.
So good morning once again. This is the Movie Founders Badagry Museum. Over there have a real chain, but before we go to the chain, I would like to give you an overview of what happened during the period of slavery. You see, Badagry during the period of slavery was known to be a slave corridor, a slave coast. And there were 2 major slave coasts in Nigeria back then for transatlantic slave trade. Transatlantic means the slaves were being transported through the Atlantic Ocean, because in Nigeria we practice both transatlantic and trans-Sahara. Trans-Sahara was practiced in the northern Nigeria. The Hara were their customer. The slaves taken there were taken through the desert. But here in Nigeria, slave taking were taken through the Atlantic Ocean. So our forefathers here in Badagry buy slaves from their fellow black and resell to the white men. Now they do transatlantic in Badagry and in Calabar. So any slaves captured from the Oyo Empire, that is the Yoruba speaking area, any slaves captured were marched down to Badagry. Slaves captured from the eastern part of Nigeria were taken down to Calabar. Now, from the Badagry, they take them to the market, established in the year 1530. They call it the slave market. The market was established for buying and selling of slaves, and is the biggest market in the whole of Africa. Back then, over 300 slaves were sold inside this market every market days. Over 17,000 slaves have been let out of this market every year. From the market, they take them to the barrack room and they keep them there for another 3 to 4 months. They make them eat, drink, urinate, defecate on each other before moving them to the point of no return. At the point of no return, they force them drink a well water, and they force them make some recitation, after which they become less aggressive and lose their memory. And from there, they take them to the ship. They load them inside the ship. Now, a ship that is supposed to take 1,000 people, they can decide to put 1,600 slaves inside. And by the time they get to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and the tides are high, they pick up some of the slaves and drop them inside the Atlantic Ocean. So it is not all the slaves that left the shore of Africa that get to where they are taking them to. The majority of them are thrown into the Atlantic Ocean. Or whenever they feel that 1 or 2 of them are safe, for them not to infect others with such sickness, they pick them up and drop them inside the Atlantic Ocean. Now, the transatlantic slave trade is also called the Atlantic Triangular Trade. Why? The Europe come to Badagry to buy slaves, and they take them to their country. Brazil, Jamaica, Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago, Haiti, and so on and so forth. They make them work on the plantations. Tobacco plantation, cotton plantation, sugarcane plantation. The harvested produce will be taken from Europe to America. And in America, they transform the produce to finished goods. These goods were returned back to us in Africa in exchange of more slaves. So if you look at the movement of the ship, it is in form of a triangle. The white men come here, take our slaves to Europe. In Europe, they make them work on the plantation. The harvested produce will be taken from there to America, and then return the finished good back to us in Africa in exchange of more slaves. So the slaves taken from here were either meant to work in the house or in the farm. These are plantation slaves working inside the farm. At times you can have like 3, 4, 5 generations working in the same plantation. Now, there were 2 categories, like I said. The domestic slaves. The male domestic slaves were usually castrated. They castrate the male domestic slaves for them not to be able to impregnate the wife or children of the master. They remove their testes. And after removing their testes, they become very big, huge and tall. They now use them as bodyguard. Whenever they are going for war, they are always at the war front. The female domestic slaves were used as wet nurse. The white men would not want the breast of their wife to lose shape, so most times they don't allow their wife to breastfeed. Once they discover that their wife is pregnant, they impregnate the black woman working on them in the house, and the black woman will be the one to breastfeed the child of the master. Most of the time, they kill the baby of the black woman, or collect the baby from the woman and give it to another woman working inside the farm. So for plantation slaves who refuse to work inside the farm, they punish them publicly. They don't punish them in the farm while other slaves are working, or in the market square, so that other slaves working and seeing the slaves being punished, we see that as a deterrent. Now, the judgment for the abolition of slavery was made in Europe in the year 1772. But this good news got to Badagry in the year 1852. Officially, slave trade was abolished in Badagry in the year 1852. And here's a treaty of the abolition of slave trade our forefathers signed to the British in the year 1852. So we have the British, the Dutch, the French, and the Portuguese patronizing Badagry. And when the British decided to abolish the trade between them and Badagry people in the 1852, they stopped coming to Badagry. All that country was still coming. The Portuguese, the French were still coming to Badagry. And so the man buried here waged war against the Portuguese slave merchants. The man buried here sees the last vessel of slaves leaving Badagry, and the slave inside the vessel. These are the mule chain around their neck. The father of the man buried here was also involved in the trade. The father was among those who were buying and selling slaves. The father buys slaves from the black and sells to the white people. So whenever the white people come around, the man offers them kola nut. He tells them in Yoruba language, meaning my white friends, take kola nut eat. And they always hear him saying Emobije, so he gave him a nickname from there, Chief Mobi. And so the family adopted that name as a family name. And Mobi is now a chieftaincy title in Badagry today. I'm from the family. I happen to be the 5th generation of the man buried here. I usually tell people, if not for him, the trade will last longer. So finally, Chief Mobi sees the last vessel of slaves leaving Badagry in the year 1888, and he established this museum in the year 1889, and that was the reason why they buried him inside the museum. This is called the neck lock, and this is for the neck of the slave. Let's feel the weight of the chain. The slaves walk with this around their neck for 18 hours every day. While traveling, this should be around them for 3 to 4 months before they get to their final destination. And so you can imagine the weight of the chain on the neck of the slaves. While carrying this, you're going to feel pain here at the back of the neck and here on the chest. And they walk with this inside the farm for 18 hours every day. This is called the mouth plate. This is for the mouth of the slaves. Slaves who are usually not allowed to talk to one another while working on the farm. Why? The white men are afraid that while slaves are working and they are communicating, they can plan on how to attack their masters. So they usually pierce their little tire. In the morning, while going to the farm, this goes to the mouth. They padlock the mouth like this for them not to talk or eat while working on the plantation. So they call this a mouth plate for the mouth of the slaves. This is called the light chain, and this is for the babies. For the children of the slaves not to be playing about the farm. Remember I told you there are 2 categories of slaves. The children of the domestic slaves were most times brought to the farm. Now, when they have many children inside the farm, for them not to be running about the farm so as not to step on what their parents have planted, they gather the children together. They change their race from inside of the tree. They now make them sit down. 3, 4 of them, they change their race together. Make them sit under a tree, far away from where their parents are working. So they call this a light chain for the babies. And this is a torture weapon for stubborn slaves who refuse to work inside the farm. Any slave who disobeys his master, they force this into their hand down to the wrist. And most times this doesn't go in easily. You have to break the bond to force this to the wrist. After forcing this to the wrist of the slave, they immediately climb the platform and they screw this up to its altar. The slaves will now be hanged on the tree, daily from morning to night. In the course of doing that, most of them died, white men wasn't dead, because our forefathers produced this high times. This is called the branding highway, and this was used in writing name of slaves. Slaves don't bear name during the period of slavery. They bear the name of the masters. And this was the major reason why today, in Lagos, Nigeria today, you come across some Yorubas with English surname. The Silva, the Russia, Smith, Coca, and so on and so forth. We have them in the eastern part of Nigeria. This family returned back to Africa after the abolition of slavery. They don't know where they captured their forefathers from. They have to settle in either Lagos, Abeokuta, or Calabar. So for the white men to be able to identify their slaves, they put this in fire. Then this is breakfast. They now use this to write the name of the slaves on the body of the slaves. The second function of this is to pierce the lips of the slaves, so as to be able to padlock their mouth. The last function of this is to pierce the foot of someone slave who tried to run and being captured. So when this is red for, he hits this into the foot to pierce the leg or break the bone inside the leg. This is called the ankle lock, and this is for the leg of 2 slaves. 2 slaves were meant to walk with these around their ankle at the same time. It will be very difficult for them to run away with this around the leg at the time. So they call this the ankle lock for the leg of the slave. And if you have watched slavery movie and you see them dragging their feet on the floor, something like this will have been placed on their ankle. This was the money we recognized back then in Africa. Cowries. That's what we call this in English language. Yoruba call this Oweyo. But this was only recognized as means of exchange in Africa. The white man doesn't see this as money. And that led to the introduction of trade by barter. So they bring in items like gold, gunpowder, dry gin, cotton, iron, mirror, tobacco to exchange for human. The bottle of dry gin was exchanged for 10 slaves back then. Mirror was exchanged for 10 human beings. So you can imagine the worth of human being during the period of slavery. An umbrella was exchanged for 40 slaves. When you get to the paragraph, they will show you the umbrella that was used in the exchange of 40 human beings. This is a cannon gun. This size of a cannon gun was exchanged for 40 human beings. And the big size of this for 100. Why do we need this? They brought this to us so we could wage war against ourselves, capture slaves, sell back to them. I call that divide and conquer. The whites are still doing this in Africa up to slaves. They create problem of women, we Africans. How do I visit fighting ourselves? They take away our natural resources. Here's a slave drinking water bowl. And 40 to 50 slaves drink water from this bowl at a time. The slaves drink water from the bowl with their hand being tied to the back. They bend down to drink water like animals. Most of the time, while struggling to drink water from this bowl, they push one another. They get caught by the end of the pot. The blood drips into the water. The slave drink the water like that because they have access to food and water once in a day. Finally, this is the well at the point of no return. The spirit at a nation world. The slaves were forced to drink from this well, and they were forced to make this recitation. After drinking and making the recitation, the slaves become less aggressive and lose their memory. This was the reason why Nigeria was the largest supplier of slaves during the period of slavery. Nigeria contributed 24% of slaves taken out of Africa, and that was the largest in Africa back then, followed by Angola also 24%, Ghana 16%, Senegambia 13%. Now most of the slaves taken out of Africa, majority of them were taken out to Brazil, and that was the reason why today when you get to Brazil today, the Yoruba we speak in Nigeria is their second official language in Brazil today, because most of the slaves taken out of Africa were taken down to Brazil.
This was quite an experience for me, just to know I was walking on the same grounds and paths a lot of our ancestors walked on.
The compound here is called Brazilian Barracoon. This compound is to make the cell where they keep the slaves. We have 40 rooms in this compound, and in each of the rooms we keep 40 slaves. A minimum of 1,600 slaves were kept in this compound for every 3 to 4 months and will be taken to the point of no return. So this is the cenotaph of the man that owned the compound. His birth name was Ifarem 11, but because he was a slave, his name changed to Seriki William Sabat because slaves bear their master's name. So when he was 6, he was captured by a black man named Abbas. Abbas was a slave trader who sold him to Williams, a white man. Williams took him to Brazil and brought him back on a condition. And the condition was for him to be buying and sending the slave to his master. So that's what the white master did this from. The rooms are still standing, we'll be seeing just two because the family of this man occupy other parts of the room. The last one, Seriki was the title given to him. As is, the Seriki is the title, it means head of the Muslims. He got the title, which is involvement in the Islam sector there in Badagry. And at your back, we have the items they used in exchange of slaves. Because they couldn't spend the money with you, they did trade by barter, which was to exchange people for these items. So the value of one umbrella was 40 slaves. We have the surviving umbrella here. The cannon, the big one for 100, while the small one for 40 slaves. The bottle of alcohol for 10 slaves. The mirror and the bead will depend on how you bargain and negotiate. Ceramic bowl for 10 slaves and the big one for 40 slaves. When he became the Seriki, he was given a kettle and a brass dish as a gift. This is the picture of the man that owned the compound, Seriki. And this is a picture of him and his council member. This is him seated, and this is a slave carrying an umbrella. This umbrella. The base is the value of 40 and it's heavy. So once they carry this at the top of the chief, just you can feel the weight. This is the photocopy of his handwriting. And this is the inner room where 40 people will be. They'll be here for 3 to 4 months.
40 people is here.
Yes, 40 stays here. That's the ventilation for 40 people. And there was a door to be shut here. So they'll be here waiting for the ship. We have a bottle of gin from 1873 here. It was exchanged for 10 slaves. And they separate the slaves. Male were kept different from females. This is room of male, the next room was female. But in the female cell, there were more than 40 because some of them would be with their children. This is the clothes given to the chief as gift. It's called regalia. It's over 200 years. And this is the staff we used in 1895. The staff is 128 years. This is how he used to sit on his throne. And as a Muslim head, he always has his turban. As I said, this was just made to show how he used to sit. These are not real, but these ones are real. These two men, they were slaves that returned after the trade was abolished. This is Santo da Silva and this is Candido da Rocha. And Candido da Rocha was the richest slave that returned. So if you go to Lagos Island today, there's a place called Brazilian Quarters. You're seeing the family and the descendants of these people there and other families that return. They stay here. The slave work for 18 hours and they eat once and drink water just once in a day. So while they're working, they'll be locked up just like that. So they're not allowed to talk or eat or communicate while working. So they'll be like that. Yes, there'll be court. Where part of the people is dominated on then. This used to be spot where he also met with his council members. But today the family of the man they use this place as a praying ground or when they use it also when they have family meetings. He died 11th June 1919. So he was buried here by the family, the Islamic community, and the Brazilians. The remains are safe at there. Before he died, he founded 2 towns. He founded Idogwa and Aiko for the displaced people to settle. If you get to Aiko today, you see his statue there. The town was founded in 1902. The last child was just 6 when his own father died. He was born in 1913 and his father died in 1919. But he grew up, he also became a chief, the Seriki in Badagry. So the family of the man is still the Seriki to the date they are the head of the movement. So the last child was buried beside his father when he died in 1987.
Welcome to the first story building in Nigeria. This construction started in the year 1842 by a British missionary from CMS named Reverend, sorry, excuse me please. Reverend Charles Andrew Goldman, shortened as Reverend C.A. Goldman, in the year 1842, and it was completed in the year 1845, June 1845. June 1845. And so, the materials for the construction, we have this bunch brick. For the brick from the foundation to the last stone on the building. Then we have these hinges for the doors. We have this very wood here, behind me here, for the deck, and some were used for the doors too. Then we have these nails that were used for the roof and the doors. Then this is called the iron corrugated sheet, still on it 100% on the roof. After the completion, the man who led the construction said, the society, which is CMS, has now a good, durable and comfortable house at Badagry for many years. The cost of the total house is estimated to be £325, which make it one of the most expensive houses of its time. So by the end of this, by June 2024, the standing of this very building we are standing inside right now will be 179 years. Prior to the commencement of the structure of this structure in 1842, September 24, a man from the missionary from the Wesley Methodist Church came to Badagry and he preached Christianity for the first time in Nigeria under this tree called Agia tree. After that preaching, that prompted the CMS to now further send their men to Badagry in full force for the mission work, which they call the Yoruba mission. The man who preached under this Agia tree, his name is Reverend Thomas Freeman from Methodist Church, 1842, September 24. And so when the CMS now arrived in December 24, they commenced the construction of this house. December 17, sorry, rather, they came. December 25, the leader, the man who led the CMS to Badagry, named Reverend Henry Townsend, joined this man, Reverend Thomas Freeman, under the same tree again to celebrate the first Christmas in Badagry, December 25, 1842. And this tree lived for many years, over 300 years, and it fell June 20th, 1959. And this structure was raised, as in cenotaph was raised right at the base of that tree where the tree fell, and it was fenced like this, and it's now called the Agia Tree Monument. And today, Christian faithfuls across Nigeria and Badagry most especially celebrate Christmas Carol every 25th of December right here to commemorate the beginning of Christmas celebration and Christianity in Nigeria. That is the Christmas in 1923 by the Miller brothers, Mr. and Mrs. Benzadale. Mr. Phillips' crew started with 40 men in this compound, right in these premises. And so, he taught those 40 men just two subjects for the first 2 years, 1843 to 1845. He taught them just English language and Christian knowledge. Because the purpose of establishing this school in 1843 was because of the church. The church was already built in 1843. And so, the school commenced here. In 1845, the school began properly, adding another subject to it, which is arithmetic, mathematics. So later the school was moved from here to its now permanent site several years later, becoming the first primary school in Nigeria, and it was renamed St. Thomas Primary School. So you're welcome to the room of the one of the black missionary, the first black missionary in Nigeria. His name, Ajayi Crowther. Ajayi Crowther was popularly known for translating the English Bible into the Yoruba Bible. He came into Badagry in the year he was ordained a priest in 1842 in Britain, and they sent him on a mission called Yoruba Mission to Badagry and Abeokuta. He came to Badagry after the completion of this very building here. He sat in this very room for 18 months and translated the English Bible into the Yoruba Bible. He finalized the translation right in this room, sent the copy back to Britain, to London for printing in a company called Low and Bryden Printers, Liverpool. After it was printed, the very first copy that was brought to him to proofread is what we have here in this place, the first Yoruba Bible in Nigeria. And we have this very copy of Bible brought by Reverend Henry Townsend in 1842. And this is the man here, Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowther, a Nigerian missionary. And so, this is the man who preached Christianity first in Nigeria, Reverend Thomas Freeman from Methodist. And this man led the CMS missionary to Badagry, Reverend Henry Townsend. He built the first church in Nigeria. He had his Bible there. He went ahead to Abeokuta to build another church again, and of course, the second story building. And of course, he did something in Nigeria, the first newspaper publication in Nigeria called Iwe, a bilingual publication. He established that newspaper publication, where Nyege has their headquarters today. And this man, Reverend Sid Goldman, Chairman Goldman, stayed back here in Badagry to continue the mission work while the rest went to Abeokuta for their own. He built this very story building we are standing in today. Here we have the picture of the first church at Badagry, first semester in Badagry, just located outside there. Then we have this wooden chair here that stayed here just 106 years. And of course, the image of the first missionary, first cemetery where most missionaries who died in Badagry were buried, especially the wife of the man who built his house, Mrs. Goldman. We have some currencies that were used. This is the first vault in Nigeria actually, 1856. And today, we have some of our currencies inside of it. I don't know that they will wow you. We have this currency, the first currency in Africa and most part of the world, cowrie. Then we have this later, Manila. It's used by the Philippines and some part of Nigeria, most part of Nigeria actually, before trade by barter came into place, and then where the British came and started using pounds, sterling. This £1. Then we later switched to this. We were still using that while we were using this 1 penny. Then we have, whoa, okay, we have this. This should be 1 cent, 2 cents, and 5 cents, right? Yeah. 5 cents. Just after this, we switch to Naira and Kobo, where we have 1 kobo, 10 kobo, then this half a kobo, 50 kobo, and 1 Naira coin. Now, these coins in Nigeria, when we switch to Naira and Kobo, we have some of our own currency that are in paper. 50 kobo notes, the 1 Naira, the 5 Naira notes. Just after this, we graduate something greener with this image before this. So, and then we have this trainer, and lastly, this 50. So these are some of the currencies Nigeria have used in time past that we decided to keep in this world. And lastly, we have this well here. Okay, before this well, that is the site of the first church there. This very little bamboo here, built in the year 1843. And so this well was dug in 1842. And this year will make it 182nd year that it was dug. And for 182 years now, it has never run dry. It has never changed color, it has never changed taste. It remains one of the purest water you can get in this entire environment. Every other water in this environment have color, and some season they change taste. But this has never changed and it remains drinkable till date, till this very, very moment.
Settlers began in West Africa around 1445. Before 1445, Europeans came to West Africa. They came for research, gold, ivory, and diamond. It was led and sponsored by a man called King Consul from Portugal. Later, they came for slave trade. They came with some materials, gun, gunpowder, mirror, wine, etc. Slave material from here down to the place called West Indies, that is today Caribbean Island. It's a plantations owned by the Europeans, where they planted sugarcane, cotton, tobacco, and rice. And the harvest from here taken back to Europe for manufacturing or for refinery and brought back to West Africa in exchange of more slaves. So the system from triangle, that's why it's called Atlantic Triangular Slave Trade or Trans-Atlantic Slave Trade from 14th to 18th century. And here we have an artwork. You have the slave chain, through the hands and leg, you can see. This symbol is telling how they chain the slave from interland down to the coast area. You see, chain on the hands and the leg. And the writer said, am I not a man and a brother? It's showing how agony, how struggling. That are we not a human being like each other? Because they use chain on both the hands, leg, and the neck. And here we have the civilization before slavery. So before slavery, Africa will have the earlier civilization. The first university in the world is in African country. This shows that Africa have gone far in education before the arrival of slave trade. So these are the beautiful queen of Egypt. The current, the most beautiful queen in the world are called Black Egyptian queens in Nefertiti. And here, in 1640 to 1750, Europeans divided the West African coast into 4 coasts. And each of the coasts were named after what they found or what they discovered in each coast. You have the Grand Coast, that's today Sierra Leone, Gambia, and Guinea. You have the Ivory Coast, that is the Abidjan. You have the Gold Coast, that's the Ghana. Then we have the Slave Coast. The Slave Coast is Nigeria and Benin Republic. That is why the Roman Empire and the Oyo Empire were one of the biggest or the largest empire that presented in slave trade much. They used wood on their neck, while rope on their hands when they are pregnant. From like Ekiti, Egba, Ondo, Guinea, down to the coast area here. They use wood and a rope. The children will be attached to their parents, while the master will be side, front, back, and side. So, on their way coming, the weak among them that cannot work again are tired. Instead of them unlock the wood, unlock the chains, and leave them to go, they beheld them, blacks to blacks. Europeans did not go to the hinterland to take slaves. We enslave ourselves, we touch ourselves before we hand over them to the white men. You can see here too. And also, we have the white slaves. This is trans-Sahara slave trade. A slave within the North Africa, because we have the West Africa slave trade, we have East Africa slave trade, and the North Africa slave trade. It's only South Africa that has participated in slave trade. But this is the North Africa. The Arabs, the Tripolitan, Morocco, Egyptians, they are still passing through the Sahara Desert, the European country. While the West Africa are taking through the Atlantic Ocean, the European country. So mostly they sold their females and they open them naked. Buyer can respect each of their body. So it's called trans-Sahara slave trade. They also hold them naked. See? Male, female, and the children. These are rejected slaves. The rejected one, instead of dealers to take them back home, that's African dealers, they were used to sacrifice the guns on their way back. They call them macrons to kill them. And in this system, you see these people, they were blacks. They were the middlemen to the slave buyer and the African dealer. They call them cabusia. And over here, this is how they train them in gang. The place called point of no return, or from interland to the market. See, black slaves from march to the point of no return. See, this is a pregnant woman. This is a masters. So this is a painting showing the barracoon, the store. It's just a painting showing the store. Where they're coming from. Here we have, this is advert. Because this slave trade, most of them were just businessmen, they don't have plantations. Come to Africa, buy their slave, take it over there, sell them out, come again. So they place adverts to be sold and get. That means you can hire a human being. You'll be paying to the owner and the guy will be working. But the condition is the food, clothing, and medical maintenance. Then this other one again. See, prime kind of war is Negroes. The blacks were the Negroes to be sold. Cargo. And over there we have auction, highest bidder. Father, mother, and child were auction. Highest bidder. This is mother and child. Because this is like a mistress, a white woman. Because she's carrying a little African blood, you have to raise the value and auction her out. And there you have the facilitators. These are the facilitators. We have the African facilitators too, even like simple movie, Seriki, what's that name? Henry Navigator, John Hawkins. There is the Susan. It's a city in England built from the wealth they made from slave trade. And that's the grave tomb of the slave traders, Portuguese, that was killed and buried in Badagry here. And this is safe they use. Here they keep their money and valuable items. And since 1958, the safe has been locked, never been opened. This is the example of the slave ship. So in the ship, you have the upper deck for the masters, while the lower for the slaves. The slaves are arranged the lower deck, lying down, facing up. The journey is within 8 to 12 weeks. So the sick or the dead will walk into the ocean, and the slaves will give them food once a day. If the ship is going ahead about a kilometers or 2 kilometers, the ship at the back will still perceive the odor of the ongoing. And the ship is not a propeller vessel, it's a wind control. When the shark or that big wave try to disturb the ship at high sea, they throw some slave around into the water to divert their attention on the fishes. And also they say when the slave ship became too heavy to move at desired speed, slaves were thrown to the ocean to make the ship lighter. That means they place low or no values on slaves. And the master go around every day to pick the dead men who will sip on to the ocean. And then they go around to pick the ladies among them, take them to the upper deck, they make fun with them, rape them for 3 months. That's the beginning of the mulattoes, the half-caste. And here we have the cannon. So those were trained to kill the slave. And these are some punishment. You can see this. If a lady, a slave, refused his master sex, it's how they hung him at her alive. Because this son was naked. See how they hung him alive? These are some, these are male. You see them. See how they hang this. Some slaves will tie their hands together, tie the rope on the horse, drag on the stone down till they die. Some they cut their toes. Different punishment. You see over there. And this is a woman called Mrs. Margaret Garner. She was a slave in America and she has 4 children. And she killed the 4 children and tried to kill herself. And it's better for them to die with the kids than to live as a slave.
I am on my way to the point of no return. It's just beyond that ridge over there. Those boats. Yes, Jalo, let's go.
Now, this is the slave spirit attenuation word. The slave spirit attenuation word. This is the word they give to the slaves. When the slaves check from the slave spot, when they reach it, they have to pull off the chain and force them to do this way. After drinking it, they lose their memory for 3 to 4 months. They will be less aggressive. they put something called African concussion and some incantation that make them lose their memory. Before digging this well, the slaves attack the whites at the point of no return. That is why they dug something like this.
Very interesting walk, very tiring. I felt like a slave.
We challenged the brother same year when he was coming from Katonga, Old Oyo, now Oyo. The Portuguese slave marshal that were already in Badagry at that time reported to challenge that came to Badagry to come and spar because British abolished their own slavery in 1807 before 1825, and it's from British. And this place is like a customary court where they try people. Maybe you are guilty or you are not guilty. So he was tried in front of the king of Badagry, the two chiefs in Badagry. Chief Mobi, where you are coming from, and this Chief Wawu, and this the chief priest was given a concussion to prove. As me is guilty, when he take the concussion, he will do what? He will die instantly.
Okay.
But because he's coming to Badagry to explore Badagry, not to come and spy, he take the concussion and he survived the trial. Nothing happens to him. So this is a stubborn slave, very stubborn. That's how they use iron on the end of the slave, and the iron will tighten the end of the slave, and blood will start coming out, so that I will not be able to communicate with other slaves inside the dungeon. This is the old slave, very calm, not having chain on the two ends, it's not having chain on the two legs. And the leftover may be any number, they will be here till another 5 days. We are just using this form for the tourists to see, as an example, but the leftover may be any number, they will be here till another 5 days. They defecate there, they do all sorts of things here, and they eat one slice of bread per day. And it is possible a slave die here. They bury the slave here.
In this dungeon?
In this dungeon. And it's very deep, more than this. There's some fill and plaster it. The plaster it before putting sand on it, so that we can have access to the dungeon.
Wow.
Thanks for coming to Badagry Slave Market International.
Okay.
Oyemi,
So this is the stubborn one of them.
the two plantation slaves.
Oh.
This is the stubborn slaves.
So why are you standing next to the stubborn one?
I'm stubborn too.
Alright, let's go.